Good evening. I'm Lola M, and this is my channel, and this is my life. And as I had told you before, that I had put generational wealth on hold due to difficulties of our schedule. This here is my co-host, Jay. Say hello, Jay.
Hello, Jay. Hi.
She's the one with all the financial information that she will let us know. So, the first question is, it, as you have seen, this is on baby booms specifically, but if there are any financial questions, you can ask her. So the first question is this: um, why do you think people are in so much debt in 2023?
Well, I would say inflation is one reason. Everything has gone up at least double, if not more. Yeah, and the cost of living has gone up, but wages have pretty much stayed the same. So people are having to take the same amount of money that they were making 3 years ago and make that stretch, but everything else is so much more expensive now. So if your wages aren't keeping up with the cost of living, then a lot of people turn to, credit cards and personal loans
Yes,
and things like that. I mean, some people are just bad at managing their finances, but also the fact of the matter is that inflation, cost of living has just gone up and is not keeping pace with wages and what people are making.
true. And I feel that a lot of people never learned how to budget. They still is at say for example, the money it is at 2020, the amount of money that they're making, but they are hmm, spending much more
Mm-hmm.
like a
Right.
diva. They want this because the Smiths have this fine car, so they got a new car, but they are making 2020
Take that off.
amount, but not 2020,
Right.
23. So, so I think they need to have a budget. They don't know how to do a budget.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? What do people don't know?
They don't know about how to budget
Finances,
or
with
um
the finances,
well, yeah, I think
our budget. Sorry.
people might not know how to manage their money, but I think if you don't have enough money to survive, you don't really there's not really a lot to budget or manage. Like I think first
Mhm.
is like making sure you have enough money to be able to survive and live on. So making sure that your job pays you well or your source of income first of all, because if your expenses are $3,000 a month and you're making 2,000, then there's really not a lot of wiggle room or enough to budget anyway. So I'd say basically getting your finances and your income up, and then learning how to budget. So basically saying, okay, this is how much my expenses are every month, and I get paid twice a month or whatever it is, and this first paycheck is going to go to my bills that are due the first half of the month. My second paycheck is going to cover the second half of the month, excuse me, and then whatever's left over, I think you should be saving your money first, making sure you have an emergency fund of at least 3 months. So if you lose your job or you have a medical emergency or you need to do something with your house or your car, a maintenance issue, you have money for that. You don't have to take that money out of the money you need to use for rent or to live on. So I think first you need to have an emergency fund. And then after that, I start investing your money. So if you have a 401k at work, invest the money at least up to the match. And then if you have, 401k, I think it's called like a Roth, 401k Roth, invest in that, or just a regular Roth. If you have an HSA through work, which is a health savings account, I would put money in there also. And then you can also just put money in a regular taxable brokerage account that doesn't have anything to do with retirement or with your job. So I think people need to know, first you need to make enough money to survive and to be able to put money aside. So basically make sure you have your income is good, and then make sure that you save your money and save and have an emergency fund, and then invest your money.
Very good. Okay, the next question is this. COVID came as a surprise to a lot of people, and they had to use up their savings. So now they are in a downward spiral. What is your advice as to how to get out of this pitfall?
Well, I'm gonna say the virus happened 3 years ago. So I think people had 3 years ago to get at least a year, let's say, and that's last year. But I think also that's why I say have an emergency fund. So like at least 3 months. I mean, I prefer 12 months of an emergency fund to cover 12 months of expenses. So I think if you have ample savings, then even if you lose your job or have a medical emergency, that won't completely derail you because you have that money in savings. So I think having that money in savings is very important. And then secondly, living below your means. I mean, and again, like you need to have a good income to be able to live below your means, because let's say you use half of your income to live on and half of your income you use to save and invest. So it's important to have that gap between your expenses and your income,
right?
So that you can build up that savings and emergency fund, and then also increase your skills and do everything you can, maybe change industries, do whatever you can to see how you can make the most money. But I think basically, I know we can't no one expected the virus to happen, but I think just having savings and maybe even having a stockpile of different materials and products and like food, pantry items, and hygiene products and toilet paper, things like that could help you also when things like this happen. So I think just like preparing, hope for the best and prepare for the worst will keep you from even having to worry about bouncing back in the first place. But I think for people that are still struggling, it's just really like trying to figure out a way to make more money, it's a side hustle or second job. And then also looking at your expenses, looking at your subscriptions. If you're going out to eat every day, that might not be the smartest thing to do. Look at where you're just like wasting money that you could save.
Yes. Also, I would say a lot of people are holding on to that second car and that big house. I would say downsize.
Yeah, if you can downsize, yes.
Get rid of that second car.
Yeah, if it's not paid off, if it's costing a lot of money, I guess it depends, because if you need a second car, you have 2 kids or 3 kids and they all have different activities. You guys you and your spouse have to work and you just can't get by on one car, then it might make sense just to use the one car, because I'm more about, I'd rather pay for convenience too. So it's like if I I'd rather pay for someone to do my hair versus spending like all day doing it myself. And it's not going to look as good, or pay, you know, a cleaning person, or use, you know, a grocery delivery, because it saves your time, your energy, and your money. So, I mean, not money, but your time and your energy. And you can do that, use that time for other things. So I think it depends though, like why you need the second car. If you really do need 2 cars to get your kids everywhere and to manage your life, then I would say, you know, keep the car, pay it off, but then keep it as long as possible. Like, don't go out and buy a new car, because you may need the second light or the second car to